morning, algebra class. Today we're going to talk about multiplying exponents. Should be a fun-filled lesson, so get ready. So when we work with exponents, I want to just remind you of a couple things. First of all, if we had 2 to the third power, that's called the root and that's called the exponent. What we do is we take 2 and we don't multiply it by 3 and get 6. We multiply 2 by itself that many times. So this equals 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. So if you keep that in mind as we talk about what happens when you multiply exponents, I think it'll make a lot more sense. For instance, if we had 2 cubed multiplied by 2 squared, think what's happening here. It's basically 2 times 2 times 2. There's three multiplications here. And then we multiply it by 2 times 2. And so if you see what happens is we end up getting 2 to the 5th power. So it's these exponents added together. Okay? I know there's a lot of multiplying here, but you're adding the exponents. And if you think about what's happening, it's 2 3 times and 2 2 times, so that's why it's 2 5 times. So this equals 2 to the 5th power, or 32. If we use variables instead, if we add x to the 6th times x to the 7th, let's say, we're not going to multiply these. We're going to add them because x is being multiplied 6 times and x is being multiplied 7 times. So in total, you're going to get x to the 13. Hope that makes sense. Now, let's try a different situation. Oh, let me give you the general rule for that one first. Sorry. So if we have x to the a times x to the b, then it's x to the a plus b. That's the general rule. Let's try a little different situation. What if you had x to the a, and we put that in parentheses, and we do that whole thing to the b power? In this case, you're not going to add the two things. And if you think about it, you can see why. Let's choose a specific example again. So what if we had x squared and we did it to the 4th power? Well, think what's happening. That means that if you're doing this to the 4th power, that means you're doing that thing times itself 4 times. And x squared is, of course, going to be x times x, and we're doing that times itself 4 times. So times x times x, times x times x, and lastly times x. So if you add them up, there's going to be 8 x's multiplied together. So in this case, these two things are being multiplied. So your final answer is going to be x to the 8th. And our general rule for this kind of multiplication, if we have x to the a to the bth power, it's going to be x to, oh, not a, sorry. It's going to be x to the a times b power. So there's the two formulas for multiplying exponents. Let's try a couple. What if I had y to the 6th to the 8th power? I'll stop here. You can just stop the tape and then give me an answer. What do you think it's going to be? Well, this one fits, of course, this rule. So you're going to get y to the 48th power. Let's try a different one. X to the negative 2 times x to the 8th. Well, this one fits not this one, but this kind of rule. And remember that we're going to add them. And so we're going to get x to the 6th power. Okay? All right, hope that makes sense. We're going to use this a lot. So this has to become second nature. You'll practice today, but this is going to have to really become in your brain. Okay.